What's up, everyone? Welcome to Mongols Pregame'n edition. This is where we spend a few minutes chatting with the team prior to the next match. Joining me for this one is someone who, in his 19 starts this season, has 10 shutouts, which is mind-boggling. He was just announced as a candidate for Save of the Week and made the USL's Team of the Week bench. It's Eric Dick. Eric, thanks for joining me, man.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I know it's likely an honor to be named to the USL's Team of the Week bench, but after a performance like this past week, is there part of you that's just saying, like, what more do I have to do to get in the starting 11?
Honest answer, like completely, it is an honor to even be like considered for something like that. I say this with lightly. I really don't care. Like I'm that's all I care about. And honest with you, everyone that played deserves a spot on there because I think the guys crushed it this week, and I'm just honored to be a part of that. And I'm just happy we got a result, and focuses on the next one. But it's an honor, obviously, to be named there, but I'm just an extension of everyone else's effort as well.
Yeah. I mentioned you now have 10 shutouts, which makes you tied for sort of second in the league behind Danny Vitiello, who has 11. Is that something you keep an eye on, or do you just sort of like let that be?
To be honest with you, I think I have a ton of family and friends always, supporting me, and I'm very lucky. So I think I'm made more aware of it, through them than anything. And again, it goes with the Team of the Week things. Like I'm that's part of a goalkeeper thing. You want to keep shutouts and do everything, but again, shutout is only partly me. Like majority of times, like it's crosses that are cut out by like defenders, through balls cut out by midfielders, back pressing from forwards. Like those chances that don't actually get to me, I think far outweigh the number of chances that actually get to me. So the fact that we get a shutout is a testament more so to the effort of the guys in front. And I just, I try to do my part when my name is called. And I think it's great. And it's something that, we're going to strive to continue to do moving forward because it gives us a good chance to get results. We want to take pride in being a hard team to beat, a hard team to break down. And I know that we feed off of that energy when we can keep that shutout. We give our stars up top a chance to go show what they can do.
For sure. To get inside your head a little bit, I'm just curious. So I talked to Jacob, and we talked a little bit about you and Gabby earlier this year. It seems like you guys were all sort of battling for that starting spot, which it feels like you've sort of taken now and you've run with. But as a keeper, does rotation like that, for so long throughout the season, does that impact your rhythm at all? Or do you sort of approach every game as like its own microcosm and the last game doesn't really affect the one that you're in?
Yeah, I think rotation will always bring with it its challenges. I think with any soccer team, you want competition because that pushes everybody there. Gabby and Jacob are outstanding goalkeepers, and I think we have an outstanding group with a goalkeeper coach like John. Like you can't get anything better. You can't ask for anything better. So, I think rotation can bring with it challenges. I think as a goalkeeper, it's a huge mental position as much as it is physical. And just like execution wise, like you got to go out there every single week and just be the goalkeeper that the team needs you to be. And that's what training's for. Limit the mistakes as much as you can and just be consistent. I think, when you're out there, yeah, if you have a rough game, and you get another chance to play the next week, like you learn from it, and the quicker you can learn from those little games. And as long as you continue to, be improving, I think that's the rhythm that you talk about. Now, when you have rotation, it's a little tough to see that, progress, within games because you might not get that in a game, but you can attack that through training, those little mistakes and things that you need to improve on to show the coach and teammates that, you want to be out there and that you're working to be that guy for the team. So I think we all know that. And I think this year's, we've had some up and downs with the position, starting with myself. And so I know all three of us just want to be the goalkeeper that the team needs. And we push each other every single day. And we listen to John as he's guiding us. And it's just, I think it can mess with you a little bit, but that's professional sports. You sort of have to deal with, things here and there. And as long as you continue to stay confident in yourself, and your ability, and then you just are open to owning the mistakes that you make and wanting to improve for the team. I don't think it affects you too much, but you just got to approach it the right way.
For sure. I asked a similar question to Pat Hogan a few weeks back, sort of as a center back. How does sort of the rotation impact? And he said something similar. You know how you guys all have sort of your different tendencies, and just makes me think. In your opinion, which of the three of you is sort of the loudest back there, sort of like barking orders at people, or one of you is one of you more quiet, or are you guys all sort of similar in your approach as to how you organize the defense?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all come from different backgrounds, and I think every goalkeeper is a little bit different. I'm used to talking a lot. I've just been someone that's my style is I talk. I think Gabby talks a lot. I think Jacob, talks and but everyone talks in different ways. I think, and they talk in different mannerisms and different words and different scenarios, and so that's what's unique about the position. I think overall that's a great thing. I think every goalkeeper should be different and be themselves. But at the end of the day, we got to come back in and make sure that we're in sync with the back line, we're in sync with the midfield, in sync with what the coaches need from us. And so I think we're all on that same page of sort of what we're trying to get from game to game, from the position that we play. And we just got to go out there and perform. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really know if there's someone quiet and someone louder like that. I think we're all capable and do great things in training, and just do exactly what the coaches want us to do out there. And that's the goal every single week is just be the goalkeeper that this team needs.
For sure. During the game this weekend against Birmingham, you had to make some pretty big saves, some that were like one-on-one point blank. And I'm just curious, during those moments, are you able to sort of slow down and process what's happening? Or is it very much just like you just react and that's it?
Yeah. Um, that's a tough question to answer because it's like I think it's a little bit of both because I think goalkeeping is interesting because you'll do training and you'll do all these drills that you work on the right technique, catching cleanly, like building that foundation. So then when you get into the craziness of situations, that's where the mental sort of like okay, you have to read the play as it's going on. That's where I'm trying to talk to defenders and everything to prevent the worst case scenario. But you always have to accept that something crazy could happen. But then that's when you rely on all the foundation and the technique. So then you don't really have to think as much. It is more instinct. You go out there and just automatically, like, it's weird. Your body will just do the right technique because you've trained the right technique. Um, Now, I've always been someone that says, like, as long as you put yourself in the best possibility to save the shot, both physically, mentally, and spatially, like in the goal, like that's your job, as well as put the defenders in their best chance to prevent the shot. Like there's two different jobs there, and so sometimes people just make good passes, sometimes people make mistakes, sometimes people just make good shots. But as long as you cover those two areas, like that at the end of the day is your job to a T. But yeah, I mean, some of those 1v1s, I'm a bigger guy. Like my style is sort of, I shot stopping is one of my strengths, I feel like. And so some scenarios, you use your length and your size to just get as big as you can and hope they hit you. Sometimes you're reacting, you're set and you react. And a couple of those were just things you don't really train sometimes, and you just again you rely on all the trainings that you do. And again, the defenders made it a little bit more predictable for me on some of those. And I mean, even the first one, like Junior's tracking back, and he got there right when I got there. Like so, just the effort that he showed to close that down. So again, the team makes it a little bit easier for me. But in terms of making saves, you rely on the instinct, but you also rely on the training as well. It's a nice little
Yeah,
balance.
for sure. I'm curious. We've had this conversation with other keepers and other players in the past, but from your perspective, let's imagine you're defending a corner or a set piece in front of the Steel Army. Would you prefer that they are as loud as they possibly can be, or that they're quiet so that you can sort of organize and sort of take charge of what's happening?
I actually think if they did just like silence and like golf claps, it would throw off the other team so much. No, I will never ever tell any fan to like be quiet. Like I think doing it in front of the army is just electric. Like we players, I don't think fans realize how much we feed off of energy, like in a stadium. At least I do. I know a lot of the guys do too. And so, I mean, the rowdier the better. And you know, I actually don't talk the whole week leading up to the game, so then I have my whole voice. Um, but no, I have to talk a little bit. But I no, I will never tell them to be quiet, and I want them to yell in as much as they can because that's just shows support for us, and even louder when they're down there taking corners, like you know what I mean, like or when we're taking corners. So I just have to deal with it, and but again, it's awesome to see them there and have their support.
Yeah. I'm curious because you have sort of bounced around a lot throughout your career, including spending time in Indy, where you guys are going to be going this weekend. You've been all over the country. There's all of this conversation about sort of how big the US is and how different areas are to play in, and some of the limitations that may come from different areas. I'm just curious, since you have sort of been all over the place, do you have a favorite spot in the country that you really enjoyed playing in?
Yeah, I've had a quite a journey, and I'm so thankful for it. Honestly, it's been fun because it's taken me places that you know I may not have ever been able to experience, and have given me the opportunity to play the game I love. So, you know, I was born in Kansas City, so obviously starting my career there and having the belief from them in me to draft me that was so cool. Um, you know, and that was cool for my family, just a full circle of moment. Phoenix was I got loaned to Phoenix as well, and that was during COVID, so it was an interesting year. But I'm such an outdoorsy guy, so like I got to hike mountains, like and you have to go really early there because it's just so hot. Um, but that was really cool, and again, that team was awesome because it was sort of like college vibes. It's like here, like the guys are so close, and we live in the apartments together. Like it's just it was awesome to experience that. Columbus was cool because I have like 90% of my extended family in Columbus, so I got to see them a lot of times. And again, that was right when they got a new facility too. So like the club was on the up, and it was really cool to see how that was run. Minnesota was so much fun. Just the team was great. The team was really fun. The fans were amazing. And all these stadiums, each stadium's different too. That's what was cool is like I think I've been very lucky with the teams that I've been able to be with because the fan support there has been incredible, and it's just cool to go to a game where the fans are electric. And then Minnesota is gorgeous nature wise too, so that had you know a ton of balance. Obviously, got loaned to Indy 11 for 4 games, so that in itself was amazing to be around family and friends. Um, you know, I got loaned to Tulsa for 1 game. That was you know an interesting experience. So and then you know here in Pittsburgh, like this has been something that has been missing from my career, like and is getting games, and I know I've had to come in here and earn it. Um, but it's just finding that you know the joy and love of the game through playing again, and that's something that has been. So I'm very blessed and very lucky that you know Bob and Pittsburgh saw something in me and brought me in here. And again, the city of Pittsburgh is so fun. And the fans are electric in the stadium. Oh my goodness. Like down there with the backdrop. I mean, it's one of a kind at Highmark. So, I get goosebumps every time just walking in there at night, just because it's one of a kind. So each one, long answer, each one has its own little perks, but I'm just one to soak in wherever I am at the time, and because you never know when you're going to be back there. So I take full advantage, and I'm just very lucky to have been in a lot of cool situations and a lot of cool places.
Yeah, you got to enjoy the journey.
Yeah,
So the fact that you've had all those experiences, I agree, is just fantastic, and it's something you're gonna be able to look back on and really sort of appreciate. So it's super cool. Another big weekend, or another big game this weekend. You guys are heading to Indy. How's the team feeling heading on the road again?
yeah. I mean, it's going to be a good team. I mean, Indy is showing their quality. I mean, unlucky result last night, you know, in the Open Cup, but I mean, just the fact that they're there in the final, you know, in the final four is just like a testament to how much talent they have. But we've shown time and time again that we can compete with literally anyone in this league. And we know that, we're coming down to the wire here, and we've got some pressure on us. But I mean, as long as we go and perform like we can, like we know we can do it. And so we're going to be prepared tactically, and the guys have tons of energy. The vibes are great. That just was a huge uplifting result, I think, in Birmingham. And we got to move on from that one. And Indy is a whole nother monster that we gotta tackle, and we'll be prepared for it. And I personally am excited. Just family and friends will all be there. We'll have a huge fan base for the Riverhounds there as well. So I'm happy to be there, and I think we owe them one. From when they came here. And again, it's one game at a time at this point. We need some results, and the guys know it, but it's just another soccer game, and we're going to treat it like that and have massive respect for the opponent and do what we can. And I think the chips will fall how they will, but we'll do everything we can. You guys are ready.
Sounds fantastic. Eric, thank you so much for joining me. We always appreciate the time. Obviously, best of luck this weekend in Indy, and here's hoping for another shutout, man.
Here we go. Thank you very much for having me. Go Hounds.